people are here. This is nice.
Hi, hello. There we go.
Yes, give
I
a
know.
bit of a warmer welcome.
I know. So it's so funny because I will say there is something. So with Finland, right? I've noticed that everyone's having a really good time.
Yeah.
Everyone's just very quiet. It's so cool though because like in the States, listen, okay, if we try to do stuff like this in the States, there's no way. There's no way of these kind of like live interviews and stuff at a festival.
Yeah.
It'd be too many drunk people being absolutely insane. So you guys are just drunk and quiet. So
Okay, now please, let's give Lee Jennings from the funeral portrait. Oh my goodness.
You're fine.
I can't be too fast with
it's
this.
okay. I know. It's
A bit of a warmer welcome now.
I know.
Woo! There we go. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you so much. for
Right
having
off
me.
the stage.
I know, literally.
And here to meet your fans. You're here in Finland for the first time.
I know.
And this is amazing. Thank you so much, people, for joining us.
Yeah.
And for being curious and wanting to get to know you more, because that's what we're here to do.
Yes, exactly.
So we have about 45 minutes, and there's a QR code in the back which you can scan to submit your questions that I will be reading afterwards. But in the meantime, let's do just that. How about you tell me your life story? And by that, I mean...
That's going to take 45
going
minutes
to-
on its own.
That's fine. Go
Okay.
into full detail. Where did you grow up? How musical was your upbringing?
Insane. Okay, so the story is I'm from a city called Marietta, Georgia, which is about 20-ish, 30-ish minutes from Atlanta, right, in Georgia, in the States. And the situation is I grew up in a very, very loving household, right, with my grandparents and my mom, and they were very, very sweet and very, very kind and let me kind of do my own thing and find my own thing. And I'm very, what I'd say, blessed to have that opportunity. And the situation was elementary school, right? My chorus teacher, right? He was like, wait, you have a good voice. And like at the parent-teacher conference, right? Sat my mom down and was like, wait, you can sing and you're cool and you're good at this, you know? And so that was kind of like my first love. It's so young too. And for me, I got very lucky to kind of find my thing so early on in life because so many of my friends or so many even of my friends now, they still are having issues with like like how they can find what they're good at or what they really want to do. And I got really lucky, started early, and then I got into like musical theater in general, opera, choir, everything that had to do with singing, I was doing it. Did that for so long until I found like rock music, right? I was
How did you find it?
I was in the the mid 2000s like emo stuff. I was in that boom, right? So like the My Chemical Romance, Blink-182, Take It Back Sunday, Fall Out Boy, you know, all of those bands, Evanescence, AFI, you know, like all of that was like my thing. Papa Roach, you know, A 3 Days Grace. I mean, you just name it, right? I really wasn't into really heavy stuff at first. And I think it's because accessibility wasn't really there. It was still all about that kind of the mid 2000s stuff. And Him as well was a big band for me, which I know that you guys like. That's a big thing here, I think.
But was that playing on the radio, or how did you find it?
So how I found it is so we have a well, I used to get this thing called Alternative Press Magazine, okay? And it's a pretty big magazine, and it had like all these cool new bands. And every year they did like 100 bands you need to know, which could be big bands, small bands, whatever it is. And I remember Him was in there. I remember all my Chemical Romance, all these bands that I grew up loving were in there. And so then I'd go to MySpace, type them in, or even before that, there was a website called Pure Volume, and I would go in, you could like download their music for free but it wasn't illegal because the bands like wanted you to download them. They were like, normally it was like 1 or 2 songs. So that way you could kind of get into them. And I then, there was also a store in our malls called Hot Topic, okay? And if you guys don't know what Hot Topic is, so it's like a rock mecca store, but it was like the goth, like the mall goth thing, like what's like made its resurgence now. And like the big trip pants and the chains and everything. That was like the OG version of it. And they have this thing called the rock wall. Okay, and the rock wall is just a bunch of band T-shirts, like a bunch of band T-shirts, like massive. And I remember I got like all my favorite bands merch from there. And of course, the way how we got into him in the States was Viva La Bam and Jackass, right? That was like massive for us because Bam Margera, used the heartogram for like everything, right? Like it was on all, I guess he had some weird license, I'm guessing, that he did with the band, or the band was like, oh, well, you gotta make my band big, and he did. And that was a big situation. And I remember him was one of the first shows I ever went to. It was at our venue called the Masquerade in Atlanta. It's an old rickety building. It had 3 stories, okay? So it has 3 different venues in it. So Heaven, which is the big room, which was upstairs. Hell, which was in kind of like the basement, which was like the smaller room, and then Purgatory, which was in the middle, right? So, and they had these stairs. But I remember going to see him, one of the very first shows I ever went to, and they were up.
In which one of
They were
the
up in Heaven. So, because their first time, I believe, in the States, I mean, they were just boom, you know what I mean? And of course, it was probably 15 years into their career. I mean, it was like 2004. I might be wrong on completely everything, but in my brain, it was 2004. I saw them, and I remember that show. Now, could they have toured the States before that? Yes, they probably did. But the show was packed. It was like sold out. And the reason why, again, it was because like Viva La Bam and all that stuff. And I just remember that's how I got into music, a lot of music that way. And in the States, we did too with like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, right? That was so big, and that that soundtrack was so big. And
That's also how I found metal eventually.
see, isn't that cool? Isn't that
Yeah.
cool that so many people did it that way? And for me, I started working at at like a DIY all ages music venue. It was like a 200 cap club. It was disgusting. Originally you could smoke inside. My mom would like come and drop me off, and I started working there. And I learned how to book my own shows. I learned how to do like deals, like with money and all these things. Like I would run sound. I would also do security. I did everything there, right, for a while. And I worked there from when I was like 14 until I was like 21. That's what I did for. I loved it. I booked some of my favorite bands through there. Like I said, shithole. You could think it was basically a size of this room. You know what I mean? The stage was like a foot off the ground. About this kind of PA. You know what I mean? Like, but you discovered so many people that got to discover music for the first time there, right? Because their parents would like drop them off, and it was right near the mall too. So that was like really cool. So you could like go to the mall all day long and then walk to this venue, and that was such a big part of my upbringing into music. And I got into so many bands that were just small bands, like smaller than my band. You know what I mean? Like now, like small bands. And it's so cool that I have so many of their CDs still, and I keep everything. I don't want to say I'm a hoarder, but I'm an organized hoarder.
Okay, good.
Okay. There we go. Yes, because I feel like we all kind of keep stuff, right? It's kind of crazy because, like, for me, I grew up, worshiping music and doing this and wanting to do this more. And I had so many local bands for so long, and nothing ever worked out. Nothing ever worked out. I kept telling myself, I'm sure people can do math about my age, but I was like, okay, well, when I turn 27, I'm gonna quit music. I was like, if I don't make it by then because it gives me time to then go do something like start my own venue or keep doing this, whatever it was, right? Whatever some sort of path I wanted to do. And I said, okay, let's redo this. Let's redo what I want to do. And that was around the time that I think I was probably 25 when I started the funeral portrait. And it was one of these situations. I was like, this is my last hurrah. I got 2 years to see some sort of growth. Then I'll continue, And those 2 years, I mean, we hit the ground running. We just kept going, and we signed to a really crappy indie record label in the States. But we got tours, and we were just grinding it out, sleeping on people's floors and driving a van and doing it for so long. And in 2017, basically all of my original band members quit. They didn't want to do music anymore. They wanted, well, one of them was like in college and had to make the decision: do I want to go be a doctor or be a guitarist in a band that maybe he's probably not going to make it? And he decided to go be a doctor, which is great for him.
Yeah.
He was,
Obvious choice.
I mean, for what it is. And I don't think any of them fully, and this is no shade on them, I don't think any of them thought this would ever happen, because during that time, this was never going to happen. Us being here, me being here in front of anybody that gives a crap about my band or wants to hear me talk, or online wants to hear me talk, or whatever it is. And like, it's so cool to not give up. And I was the one guy that didn't want to give up. And there's a few reasons. The first one being the core fan base that we were building was small, but they were very, very, very devoted. I use the word devoted all the time, right? They were very, very devoted into what our band is and what we stand for in the songs. So I was like, I can't give up for them, right? And then two, I was like, I can't give up for me, because like for me, I have no plan B, and that's the whole thing with our band. And so I then found people that had no plan B, and that's basically what my band is today. The guys that are in it, they had no plan B. They all were in other bands. All those other bands broke up, and they were like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, well, come join my band, And we grinded it out for a little bit longer.
Did you know them by then? Is that how you met? Had you played with each other, or I don't know, Musicians Forum is a big thing as well.
It is. Well, no. So two of them were in a band called Vanity Strikes, and they were a local band-ish. They were still touring. They're a little bit smaller than the Funeral Portrait. They were. And their singer went and then joined like a bigger band, because they needed a singer in a band. And he was just like, well, this doesn't seem like this is going to work anymore. I'm going to go jump ship to this other band. And he did, and they've been successful, and they're fine. Then it left my bassist and my drummer kind of high and dry, and they were kind of like, well, what are we going to do? And I was like, just join the Funeral Portrait. And they're like, sure. And that was really great. And then we still needed a guitarist, and so we eventually added Cody, who's one of our guitarists. And it was all because we had played together, like all these people. And then eventually, just recently, we added our newest guy, Gareth, who plays piano and sings and plays guitar. And it was one of these moments of just being like, we've known him since like 2020. And it was one of those things that we were like, well, we need someone new to bring into the fold to do a bunch of stuff. And he was like, I guess I'll do it. I guess I get to travel the world and have a good time. And he got to skip a lot of stuff, though. I'm going to throw him under the bus. He's not here, so I get to throw him under the bus. Even if he was here, I'd throw him under the bus. He was in a bunch of like local bands and stuff. He would maybe travel a little bit, nothing crazy. His first tour ever, let's put it this way, was our tour, was the first leg of our tour, 3 Days Grace and I Prevail, which is like arenas. Yeah, so like,
That's a nice bill.
It is, and it's great, and it's been doing great for us, because like one was February, March of this year, and like two is October, November, and it's like two different sides of the country, and it's very cool. It's all in the States. It's very, very cool. It's doing great for us. But Gareth, oh God, he's got it lucky. His first tour ever, he gets catering. We're in like basically like a miniature bus thing, so he gets to sleep. He doesn't have to really load, because all the venues have like loaders and all these extra people to do this. I'm like, man, what I would have done. But he's also very thankful. He's never taking anything for granted, which is great. None of us do, and I think that's a big part of our band. I think there's a reason. Again, none of us have a plan B, right? There is nothing else outside of the Funeral Portrait besides maybe our family or something like that. Like, no one wants to do anything but this, and that's why it is working and it is going to work. because there is no plan B. And I tell that to a lot of people in general with anything they want to do, just do it.
Mm.
Life is so, so, so short. Why spend it doing stuff you don't love?
Yeah.
And that is key for me and what I do. And that kind of brings us to now is I just never gave up,
Mm.
right? When everybody else was giving up, not just in my band, but in my life, of all these people just being like, I'm just going to go be a doctor, or I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go do that. That goes for so many people in my life. Not, like all the people that used to run the venue that I worked at. None of them, that venue doesn't exist anymore. And it was hard because it was even before COVID. It was pre that. He was just like, I'm kind of over it. I'm going to stop. And I was like,
Mm.
dang, and I think for me, I never stopped. And that's how this is working. That's how I'm in freaking Finland on this stage talking to you guys. It's really cool. So,
Yes. How old were you? At what point in your life did you realize I have no other choice? Or did you decide you had no other choice?
because I'm not good at anything else. No, I think the situation is, um, I, this is all I know. Like I grew up watching these bands that we get to play festivals with now, or gonna go on tour with 3 Days Grace and stuff like that, or like, it's kind of crazy to be like, wow, like I want to be that. That's who I want to be. Like I want to not because of the fame and the money and all that stuff, but it's literally the reason why I want to do it is because what it means to so many people and what it meant to me when I was growing up. So like why wouldn't I want to do that for other people? Even if it's just two people, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's like nobody. Um for me, it means something not just to me but to them. So I have
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
There is nothing. And I think it was early on, to be real. I don't I don't even know. Like cuz to me it was one band after the next after the next.
Mhm.
So there was no moment besides maybe when I started the funeral portrait of just being like, I have to, and
Yeah.
I will say during COVID, right, it was really hard for us because we were still semi like DIY small band, and it was very like we had 2 months of basically 2 months, 2 years of nothing, right? No touring, no playing shows. We were working on a record that felt like it was never going to come out, and it was just this moment of being like, where do we go from here? How do we get here? What what do we do to take it to that next level? How do we survive COVID that was killing, especially every small band? It
Mm.
really,
Yeah.
really killed a lot of small bands because we couldn't just release music and have people care. Yeah, you could make a few TikToks and this and that, and some did, and some had really good, great success. I did it, and I had mediocre success with it, right? Nothing that I did went super viral, and I there was a bunch of moments I was like, well, pack it up, boys. It's over. There's nothing that we can do. Maybe we'll start a new band or something and try one more time. And we tried kind of one more time with our song Voodoo Doll. It was the first song we released off this last record, and it connected a little bit, and then it connected a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, and it kind of built.
Mhm.
And it reminded me of what this band is. This band is about building blocks. We kind of look at everything like ladder
Mhm.
instead of giant jumps, right? Of course, does everybody want to be the next Bad Omens or um yeah, I mean that I think case in point Bad Omens, right? Where I remember seeing them a few years before I mean, even 2 years ago from what they are now, 3 years ago, before this last record came out or the first single came out, and they were doing well,
Mhm.
but they're not headlining Tuska. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like, and the situation is what they did is they really honed in on their craft
Mhm.
and really worked, and they did this massive jump. For our band, it has always been this. And I hope, of course, would I love it to be this massive jump? Of course, but as long as I'm doing this, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that for us, I don't release music to go viral. I don't release music to do anything rather than to release music because it means something for me. And I know it means something for my fans and what we call the Coffin Crew and this whole thing. And for me, it builds. I know it builds. I mean, like I said, I looked out today and there was people singing the words to songs that we wrote, and I'm like, this is kind of crazy. Like I never expected that all the way here in Finland for the first time. It would be, maybe it would be different if maybe we were here for like the fifth time and there was people here, but like we were here for the first time. What?
Yeah.
Like that's how crazy it was.
Yeah. And you just mentioned actually what we came here to talk about, or one of the big themes that we wanted to talk about, because I named the session A Cult of Care, and it's actually to talk about the Coffin Crew, because you have built this community that is basically rooted on the themes of your songs and around also the very important topic of mental health. And I feel like there's also this marketing theory of the 1,000 fans. I don't know if you're familiar, but it says that if you only have 1,000 fans, but each of them is willing to pay $10 every month, then you have $10,000 every month. And it's not a lot, like if you have few fans, but they really care and they really want to support you, maybe that's enough.
It is. And that's the situation, right? It's, I think for us, I think the bands that we typically tour with are that, right? They are cult-like following fans, right? So they build this super cult-like fandom that will buy everything they release, listen to everything they release, post about everything they release, come and pay VIP, come to every show. They don't care that they've seen them 5 times that year. They will still come and see them. And that's what that is where it's from, is it's from connecting with them emotionally more than anything else, right? So writing the songs that we do, like, we have our song Dark Thoughts, right? That's about OCD, anxiety. And with that, it's about connecting with people more than any other time, because that is something that people don't talk about. It's becoming more and more. People are talking about mental health, right? And I love that, right? Because that's the way it should be. But for us, I wanted to take it further and talk about really what is affecting me and what I've dealt with my whole life. And that's why every single song on our last record and this next record is about some sort of feeling or some sort of situation that happened with me in my life, or maybe a close friend of mine or something like that, a family member or something. So I think, oh no, there we go. Okay, there we go. I was scratching my ear. I won't scratch my ear. For me, building a cult-like following is the way to do it. And I don't want to say that's the only way to do it, but for me, it was the way that I saw like doing it. And the reason why is because I like to connect with people. I like to hear people's stories. I like to jump down off the stage onto the barricade and meet everybody and have them talk to me and I talk to them, because that's how music is supposed to feel. You're supposed to be connected with someone, and I think that's why I loved the bands I loved, because they all breeded a cult-like following. Going back to him, how many, I literally was talking about it earlier in an interview. I bet you there's 1,000,000 people in this world that have a Heart of Graham tattoo, right? Because not one, because it's a great logo, but 2, because of the feeling and what that band means to someone, right? Same with My Chemical Romance, right? Same deal, right? Like these bands have that, right? A band that we tour with all the time in the States is Ice Nine Kills, right? But you would never think that people would cry at an Ice Nine Kills concert when they're talking about Jason chasing someone, down and killing them, because they write music that's about horror movies, right? You would never expect that, but they do, because they still connect with songs that have some sort of other meaning. Just because what that song's about to this person could be something completely different to this person.
Yeah.
And that's what music's supposed to be. And the second that people realize that, the second it just works.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's so cool. And I also feel like just fostering a community where everyone cares about each other and wants to support each other is just so important. Just having like a band Discord when people where people can find each other and connect through this common love for your music, and then maybe other interests, and explore their friendship in a deeper sense, and find belonging. I think that is so important nowadays. We have the whole disconnection epidemic, and all of the yeah, the division, the divisive discourse that is so that we get bombarded with all the
Mhm.
time. So it's really important, I think, to find that, especially for what the metal scene is supposed to be for. The metal scene, the metal community is supposed to be for the outcasts, for the others, for the people who don't fit in anywhere else. And the thing is also that the people who get that type of othering are usually the LGBTQIA plus women, people, racialized people,
Yeah.
of different skin colors and of different cultures, ethnicities, and beliefs. And those are the people we need to stand for still nowadays. We need to stand up for human rights. We need
Yep.
to take care of each other. And that is why I now have to pose a little bit of a question, because
Hmm.
I talk about this all the time, about how I think artists have, because you're also fostering the type of community, and because of these types of communities also look up to you. I feel like music is fully political, like everything else in this world. That's my personal opinion. And I think that I personally cannot separate the art from the artist. And so I have to pose the question. You received some backlash a few years ago when you went on tour with Marilyn Manson.
Oh,
And what
yes.
a package. I mean, Marilyn Manson, Five Finger Death Punch, and Slaughter to Prevail.
And us, I know.
Like, do I need to say what each of these bands has
There's a lot.
done?
I know, there's a
Because
lot there. There's a lot
oof.
there. I know, and trust me, I know. And I think the situation is for us, it has been, it's one of those situations that I think for us, we grew up, especially with like Manson, right? Like I grew up loving him. I think my whole band did. Some of my guys, one of their very first shows ever was a Five Finger show. There's all these things, and I think for us, I think some people do have that issue of separating the art from the artist, and I know that it's a little hard to do so. And for us, we were a small band, and when I say a small band, we were playing 250 cap clubs around the country. And some shows would sell out, some really wouldn't, right? Some there'd still be 15 people there. And we had been a band, that year was 10 years. And we get a call saying, hey, there is this massive tour that's happening, and your label is putting their neck out and they're getting you the tour. And you have to take it and you have to do it. And it's going to be rough at first, but you're going to gain so much from it. And that's what we did. And the best thing is every single night I got up there and I had my speeches about LGBTQ plus, everything. I it's did never change who we were. And then to be honest, so many people were open to it all. It's so weird because I think the media will tell you that Five Finger Death Punch fans are just rednecks, from the trailer parks and stuff like that, right? Like, or they're all hateful and they're gonna beat up on queer kids and stuff like that. That's not true. We did a whole US tour with them, like 60 shows or something like that. It was crazy. It was a crazy tour. And there wasn't not a single fight at all. It's such a different world than what people think it is. And for us, we took a tour because we were there to celebrate who we are and to be who we are. And it elevated our band from being a 250 cap club band I lied, a 15 people, sometimes 200 people, cap club, to then going and doing arenas and amphitheaters and showing and spreading our message. And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Is taking those, it's the whole thing of taking, you know, making lemonade out of lemons or whatever, like the vice versa, or, it's the whole situation is when do you do it, right? What are the tours that you take? And for us, we crushed on that tour. And we gained so many new fans. And it's the same thing that whatever may come our way, the situation is, can I tell my message? Can I spread and can I gain people and maybe even change their minds, which is a big one.
Yeah.
And that's what matters because there's so many people that talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. So many people, they'll be like, well, I stand up for, for queer kids or for trans lives, trans lives matter, or, whatever it is, right? But they don't do anything about it. They don't get on stage and talk about it. Today, I talked about the, there is this dude out there in a metal band, a pretty popular legacy metal band, saying that like dudes shouldn't go to therapy. Like guys shouldn't go to therapy because guys don't talk about their problems. That's not how they fix them. And it's like, brother, like you're so out of touch. You have no idea what you're talking about. Maybe you need the therapy, my friend. Like it's one of these things that it's like, so today I like talked about it because I'm just like so frustrated with it because it's like, and it's hard because sometimes I don't post stuff like that on the internet because you're just gonna get roasted on, right? So where I get off by doing it is when I get the microphone, right? That's when I talk my talk and that's when I walk my walk because anybody can post it behind the computer screen or they're on their phone, right? But anybody that gets on a stage in front of thousands of people and says what they fully believe in builds this, right?
Yeah.
Builds a community. And the situation is with these tours that we've taken, or maybe down the line might take more, or whatever it is, I am doing it because what I believe in, and what I believe in is spreading our message, right? And spreading what I believe in and our songs. Our songs are the message, right? Our quote, Coffin Crew, as I've said, is the message. And we're so welcoming. We have this Facebook group that has like 14,000 members in it, okay? For a band Facebook group, that's pretty big, right?
Yeah.
Even for some big bands, they don't have that many of an official group. And with it, we have people from all walks of life that believe in every single thing. And is there a few sour grapes every so often? Yes. But it gets handled and it gets dealt with. And so many times, their minds get changed. And vice versa, too, where people are like, wait, Five Finger Death Punch fans aren't bad at all. They're great humans and they've done so many things. They like the same bands that I like. How cool is that? And that's what it is. It's like you said, so much is being divided by the clicks on the internet of being like, this publication is posting the one little line. I got clipped the other day. I did this really cool podcast and I had such a great time doing it. And they clipped me. They like took it out of context what I said, and I said, I don't know, I don't want to post this. Like, it's weird, like And then I like posted, and it was fine. It did fine. But I think the situation is as long as you're doing what you love and what you want to do, it's all that matters.
Yes.
And as long as you fully believe in it and you're ready to stand up for it, that's all it is.
Absolutely.
And that's the best take on it because I do know bands that get tour offers that turn them down. And my response to them is take that tour and show those people what it truly is. Like we had this whole bit on the Five Finger tour, this whole thing where someone left a Facebook comment saying like, all the other bands were great. The Funeral Portrait sucks. The singer is zesty AF. He twirls around. All he does is twirl around on stage, something like that, right? And I then posted the comment on social media, and I thought it was hilarious, right? And then, of course, I decided to turn it into a T-shirt, and we sold it for charity. And it was one of the things, 'cause every year, or sometimes twice a year, we do a charity T-shirt. And normally it's like that. Normally it's some like funny little bit like that. And and those are like the moments. That's like what we try and do is, again, life gives you lemons, make lemonade, right? And that's what we do. We are that band. And because if we weren't that band, we couldn't do the things that we do to get away with. And that's what we're going to continue to do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's really,
That was,
really
I know that's a
important
hard
to-
question. That's a weird one, right? And
Yeah.
I get asked that question too. Is like, we toured with all these like weird bands that maybe don't sound like you or stand for you. And I'm like, well, that's my job, is to
Yeah.
get up there and make them believe. You know, I kind of wear that, like the preacher collar and all that stuff. And because that's my job, is to not to turn someone into something that I believe in, but hopefully see someone else's walk of life,
Yeah.
right? I'm not trying to like make the world gay. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is just have you accept that other people in life exist, and that just because they don't believe in what you believe in, or because they don't worship the same God that you do, or they, don't go to church, or they go to church too much, right? Or, whatever it is, like, or they want the two boys kiss, whatever it is, like, just let them fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
not hurting you. Like, that's my job. That's what it is. And I'm going to wave that flag, for those people that maybe don't have the strongest voice to say that.
Oh my God, I love that. I really love that. Because that's what we all want. We all just want to live in freedom.
Mm-hmm.
But we all aren't free until everyone is free. And
Yeah.
there are still so many people fighting for it.
It's so crazy, being up here and stuff. I see a lot of pride flags everywhere. Like,
It's Pride Week.
it is, but you don't understand that though in the States. Okay, yeah, it's Pride Week, Pride Month, whatever, but they keep it in a little neighborhood and that's all they can do. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
very rarely do you see at a gas station, there's a freaking pride flag flying around. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's, or on a city building, like stuff like that. Like, that's so cool to see, because in the States, it is not like that. Sometimes there is a little bit, but it's not like that, and, I am very happy that I get to do what I get to do. And I'm very thankful for it. And I will always be that guy that will just talk about human rights. I think that's what I say all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing politics. I'm not telling you this guy, that guy, whatever it is. I'm saying human rights.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it should be.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference between politics. Politics to me is like, we should pave this road, spend tax dollars to pave this road. No, we shouldn't. We should spend tax dollars to make our stadiums bigger and stuff, or infrastructure over here. I need to spend more money here instead of paving a road or giving, that's politics. That's stuff that I don't even give a crap about, because I can't change that. But I can change someone's mind up on stage by just giving a little speech.
Yes.
And that's all that matters.
Absolutely. That's all that matters. That is really great. Let's have a few questions from the audience, shall we?
Okay.
We have 5 more minutes, 5 questions. This is
Let's
great.
go.
I'm going to time you.
Okay.
Anonymous says, I adore the way you support mental health. Finland is the happiest country, but we outrank all in suicide statistics. So we all need you.
That's crazy. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Is it because you guys are so quiet? Like, what? Like, that's crazy, because everyone seems happy and everybody seems like they enjoy a lot of things here, And I think for me, it is about, you do need more here, right? Maybe everywhere.
Yes.
You need it all over the world. And I think the pandemic of mental health, so much of it has been spread through our phones, of misinformation about life in general and how miserable everyone is. And I think we need to put our phones down more.
Yeah.
And I think, and I know that firsthand from myself. The second I get involved in all the bad news and all these horrible things, I just like, put it down.
Mm-hmm.
Go, as people say, go touch grass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. True. What struck me the most, I just moved here a year ago.
Okay.
I'm from Ecuador originally,
Oh,
but I
wow.
lived in Germany for 18 years.
Oh, wow.
And then I come to the country of the supposedly introverted people, and everyone loves singing karaoke. And it's great.
Karaoke's big here. I
Almost
love
every
karaoke.
bar has a karaoke machine.
I am
Amazing.
a karaoke master.
Yes.
I've gone viral multiple times for my
What's
karaoke.
your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, I don't even have one. My favorite thing to do, this is my favorite thing to do, is to go out with people and have each other choose each other's songs. It's
Interesting.
evil. It's very evil. It's very evil.
We should do that. I should do
Yeah.
that.
It's very good.
How are you feeling right now after performing in the burning sun?
I feel like I've got some sunburn. You know, it's great because I didn't put on any sunscreen today because I was like, well, it was cloudy all day, you know, and I was finally happy that it wasn't so hot. I know. Listen, we flew in this morning. It's just been nonstop, but it was hot, but it wasn't that hot. Listen, we played way hotter.
What was the record temperature you've played at?
I don't even know, but Grass Pop, we played inside the Metal Dome, which is like a metal dome. They decided, oh, we're gonna have this great festival outside, and we're gonna have a tent, right? And we're gonna paint it black.
That's a song, right?
A black tent? Why? Do they not know? Like, but anyways, it was very, very hot. It was one of those hots that you walk in and you can't breathe. You're like, yeah, it was great though. Great show. People are having a great time. A little bit better time than you guys. So, no, I know that you guys are having a good time. You just don't, you know.
Show it. Yeah.
I know. Well, I grew up, like I said, I grew up watching like hymn DVDs and stuff. And I was like, man, these people hate this band, you know? Well, they all got the shirts on, they got the tattoos, they got it painted on their forehead. I'm like, man, they must be sucking, I guess. Like, I'm just joking. It's funny.
Okay, if you had a plan B, no, not really, but Yo-Yo asks, if you had to switch to another instrument, what would you play and why?
Instrument. So I used to play bass and I sang in a band. So I do like bass. I think bass is just rocking, you know? Bass is just fun. You just get to, and you're playing almost the whole time anyways, because bass has to be there. So I like the bass, but I like this whole idea of plan B, not just instrument. But I got a retirement plan. Two, technically. One, I don't know if you guys do it here, but we have like Santa Claus, right? But we have Santa Claus. He's, you know, I don't know how your Santa Claus is. Our Santa Claus is fat, big old beard, retired man that sits in a mall, right? That's one, okay? I want to be a small Santa, okay? Number two, I want to go work at Disney World, okay? Because I love Disney World, but that's just it's just so happy there all the time. So I want to just be happy. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Disney World is beautiful. It's great. It's its own like oasis. It's like peaceful. It's just so escapism. I don't know. It's great. That's my plan Bs.
Okay.
More retirement. So when I'm old,
So it will happen.
add another 40 years to what I've been doing, and you'll find me at those two things.
All right. So we will look for you. Anonymous wants to know, why didn't you play Alien, and when are you coming back so I can see you play it? Also, I love you. Thanks for the show.
So we should have played Alien instead of Happier Than You. Here's the situation, okay? So we're making this set list, and we're like, oh my God, we have 55 minutes. Normally, right, this whole tour, we've had 30-minute sets, we've had 45-minute sets, hour sets, we've got 50-minute sets, 55. So we're always like throwing these songs together. And Alien is one of those songs that we know that it's a very important song to our fans. It's so boring to play. It's like so boring to play. And my guys are just so bored doing it. And it's one of those things that it's like, now it's turned into like the joke between us. So that, you know, sometimes we'll play it, sometimes we don't. And it's more like, are we going to play it? And the kids are like, oh, you're going to play it? And we're like, nope, we're not going to play it. And then sometimes we just sneak it in there. So it's like the song, you know, it's like,
That song.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so very much.
Thank
That's
you.
our time. Thank
I
you,
love that.
everyone, for being here. Let's give
Thank
it up.
you.
Woo!
Yay. I had a really good time. Thank you guys.